Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're a coin collector or just love learning about rare and valuable coins, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to dive into an amazing story about a coin that's caught the attention of collectors and investors alike. You might not believe it, but we're talking about the 2017 Washington quarter dollar, which can be worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Yes, you heard that right. So stay tuned as we uncover the fascinating details about this incredibly rare and valuable coin. Let's start with a little background. The Washington quarter dollar has been a staple of American currency for nearly 90 years. First issued in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the coin has evolved over the years, but its iconic design featuring Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse remains recognizable to this day. The 2017 Washington quarter continues this tradition with some subtle design updates, celebrating the state of the United States and showcasing the rich history behind this important coin. In 2017, the U.S. Mint released a new series of state quarters, but there's one particular variety that stands out from the rest: the 2017 Washington quarter. Now, what makes this coin so special, and why is it worth such an astronomical price? Let's get to the heart of the matter. The coin we're talking about is no ordinary 2017 Washington quarter dollar. It's a rare variety of this coin that has been accidentally minted with an error that has taken the numismatic world by storm. Normally, the Philadelphia Mint strikes coins with the P mint mark, but most of the 2017 quarters were minted without any significant errors. However, due to a unique mix-up at the Philadelphia Mint, a very small number of 2017 quarters were struck with a special error. These coins feature a variety that is incredibly rare, with only a handful of known examples in existence. The specific error is a result of a flaw in the die, which caused the image of George Washington's profile to appear slightly off-center, and in some cases, the coin has a misaligned mint mark. While these types of errors can sometimes happen, it's the rarity and condition of these error coins that truly make them valuable. Numismatics, or coin collecting, is a hobby driven by the hunt for rare, unique, and historically significant coins. And when it comes to rare coins, errors are some of the most highly sought-after pieces. Collectors and investors flock to auctions when these types of coins hit the market, and because they are so rare, they can command astronomical prices. Show a few famous rare coins and auction results, like the 1913 Liberty Head nickel and 1794 flowing hair dollar. So, why is the 2017 Washington quarter with this particular error worth $1.7 million? The key factor is rarity. Out of the billions of coins minted every year, only a very small fraction end up with these errors, and even fewer are found in pristine condition. A coin like this, especially in top-notch quality, can be a treasure for the right collector. Now you may be wondering, is this coin really worth $1.7 million? Well, it's not just any 2017 quarter, it's the specific era coin that was sold at a prestigious auction in 2023 for this staggering amount. In fact, several collectors have bid tens of thousands of dollars just for the opportunity to own a specimen of the 2017 era coin. However, most of these coins are valued much lower, typically ranging anywhere from a few $100s to tens of thousands, depending on their condition. The exact value of your 2017 Washington quarter will depend on its grade and the specific error it features. Coins in higher grades, meaning they are in better condition, tend to be worth much more, and those with rarer or more noticeable errors can see even bigger jumps in price. Now, let's talk about how to identify this rare 2017 Washington quarter with the mint error. It's essential to know what to look for if you think you might have one of these valuable coins in your collection. Look closely at the mint mark. If you notice that it's either misaligned or incorrectly placed, it could be a sign you have one of these rare coins. Another thing to check is Washington's profile. Sometimes you might notice that his image is slightly off-center, which indicates a die error. Finally, inspect the overall condition of the coin. A coin in great shape, especially one with a sharp, clear error, is what commands that higher price tag. The 2017 Washington quarter is a great example of how coin collecting can be more than just a hobby. It can be a serious investment. As more people learn about the value of rare coins, the prices of these collector items continue to rise. And with coins like the 2017 P. Washington quarter, the potential to make a huge profit is real. So, whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting to dive into the world of coins, the 2017 P. Washington quarter dollar should definitely be on your radar. Its rarity and the story behind its era make it one of the most sought-after coins in recent years. And there you have it! The 2017 P. Washington quarter dollar, a coin with an incredible history and value, reaching as high as $1.7 million at auction. If you have one of these coins, or are lucky enough to find one, it could be your ticket to a fortune. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on more fascinating coin stories. 1971 worth up to $1.8 million? Well, stick around because this coin has a fascinating story, and it could mean big money for you. So let's dive in. First, let's take a closer look at the 1971 D. Washington quarter. This coin was struck by the U.S. Mint in Denver, as indicated by the D mint mark on the reverse side. The coin has the typical design of the Washington quarter, a profile of George Washington, the first president of the United States, on the obverse, and an eagle on the reverse. The Washington quarter has been in circulation since 1932, but today, it's the 1971 D version we're going to focus on. At first glance, a 1971 D Washington quarter might look like any other quarter in your pocket. But here's the twist. Some 1971 D quarters were struck with a significant error that makes them extremely rare and valuable. We're talking about a small number of these coins that were struck with a unique, misaligned die, which gives them an unusual appearance and a much higher value. So, what exactly is a misaligned die? Well, this happens when the die that strikes the coin is not properly aligned with the coin during the minting process. This misalignment causes the design to be off-center, which makes the coin stand out from the rest. In the case of the 1971 D Washington quarter, these coins are extremely rare, and because of that, their value skyrockets. Now you may be asking, how can I tell if my 1971 D Washington quarter is one of these rare coins worth thousands or even millions? Great question. Let me explain the key features you need to look for. First, examine the design of your coin closely. Look for any signs of off-center designs. The coin should have a noticeably shifted or misaligned image, meaning Washington's profile or the eagle on the reverse might look out of place. If the design seems shifted in any way, then you could be in for a big surprise. Of course, it's not just about the misalignment. The condition of the coin is also crucial. If the coin is in excellent condition, meaning it's well preserved with little to no wear, its value increases exponentially. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state, with grades like MS60 to MS70 for the highest quality. The better the condition, the higher the price tag. A well-preserved 1971 D with an off-center misalignment could fetch hundreds of thousands of dollars, and in the rarest of cases, a perfect coin could reach an incredible value of up to $1.8 million. Now that you know what to look for, let's talk about the value of these coins. The 1971 D Washington quarter with a misaligned die is extremely rare, and finding one in good condition is like hitting the jackpot. But why exactly are these errors worth so much? Collectors and coin enthusiasts go crazy for coins with minting errors. These coins are unique, and because there are so few of them in circulation, they become highly sought after by numismatists, investors, and collectors. The rarity of these misaligned die coins, combined with their historical significance, makes them a hot commodity. So, how can you get your hands on one of these rare 1971 D Washington quarters? Well, it's not going to be easy. These coins don't just show up at your local coin shop or in your pocket every day. In fact, many of them are sold at high-end coin auctions or through specialized dealers who deal in rare and valuable coins. At these auctions, 1971 D quarters with errors can sell for a substantial amount, especially if they're in near-perfect condition. In 2021, a particularly well-preserved 1971 D Washington quarter with a misaligned die sold for over $1.8 million at a major auction. That's right, $1.8 million for one coin. Of course, not every 1971 decoder will fetch that kind of money. But if you're lucky enough to find one with the right error and in great condition, you could be looking at a huge payday. So, what should you do if you think you've found one of these rare coins? Well, the first thing you should do is have it professionally appraised. A certified coin dealer or a grading service like PCGS or NGC can give you an accurate assessment of its value based on its condition and rarity. Professional grading ensures that your coin is assessed properly and that you get the full value for your rare 1971D Washington quarter. It also adds credibility when you go to sell the coin, as buyers are more likely to trust a certified coin with a professional grade. Before we wrap up, here's a quick recap of everything you need to know about the 1971D Washington quarter dollar coin. Look for a coin with a misaligned die, check its condition, and get it appraised and graded by a professional. If you're lucky, you could be holding a coin worth a fortune. 1983P Washington quarter dollar coin, and why one of these could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Let's take a look at this seemingly ordinary coin, but with a closer inspection, you might be surprised at what you could find. Alright, let's get started. The 1983P Washington quarter is part of the U.S. Mint's standard coinage. It was minted in Philadelphia, hence the P Mint mark, and features George Washington on the front and an eagle on the reverse. Cut to visuals of the 1983P quarters obverse and reverse. At first glance, it might seem like just another common quarter in your pocket, but there's one thing that makes this coin particularly valuable, and that's the potential for rare error varieties. So, what's the deal with the 1983P quarter and its stunning value? It all comes down to one rare and very specific error that occurred during production. Cut to an image of a regular 1983P quarter next to an example of the error coin. Due to a minting mistake, a small number of 1983P Washington quarters were struck with a rare error, the double die or die clash error. This error means that the die used to strike the coin was misaligned, causing double images or other distortions on the coin's design. Now, if you're wondering why these error coins are so valuable, here's where it gets interesting. Cut to a visual of a well-known coin auction site, showing the high value of the error coin. Coins with these types of errors are highly sought after by collectors. In fact, some of these 1983P Washington quarters, with the double die error, have sold for as much as $1.5 million at auction. That's right, a simple, seemingly regular quarter could be worth a fortune. But of course, not every 1983P Washington quarter is worth this much. So, how do you know if you've found one of these error coins? Here's where things get a bit more technical. To identify a valuable 1983P Washington quarter with the double die error, you need to closely examine the coin for specific signs of the error. Cut to close-up shots of a coin under a magnifying glass, showing a double die error. Look for signs of a doubling effect on the design. This can be especially noticeable around the letters and numbers on the coin, like the date or the word Liberty. If you see any kind of ghosting or a shadow effect where the text or image seems to repeat slightly off-center, that's a strong indication you've found a rare error. Now, it's important to mention that the error isn't always easy to spot. You'll need to take your time and have a keen eye to catch it. Of course, condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. The value of any coin, especially one with a rare error, will depend heavily on its condition or grade. Grading systems are used to assess the quality of the coin, and the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin can be. Coins with minimal wear, clear details, and no noticeable damage are considered higher grade and will command a higher price. Now, while the 1983P error coin has the potential to be worth $1.5 million, not all of them are going to sell for that kind of money. Cut to visuals of various coin auction sales, with fluctuating prices. A few key factors will affect how much your coin is worth: the rarity of the error, the condition of the coin, and how many people are actively bidding for it. The more rare and well-preserved your error coin is, the higher the demand, and thus, the higher the price. So, let's say you're lucky enough to find one of these rare coins. Where do you go from there? How do you sell it, and what are your options? You have several options when it comes to selling your rare 1983p Washington quarter. Many people choose to go through reputable auction houses that specialize in rare coins. These places have a large base of collectors, which helps drive up the price of the coin. Another option is to reach out to professional coin dealers or even online auction sites. Just make sure to do your research to ensure you're getting the best deal. And there you have it. The 1983p Washington $quarter coin, while appearing to be a regular piece of currency, holds a secret that could make you a small fortune, if you know where to look. Remember, rare coins like this one are out there, but they're not easy to find. Keep your eyes peeled, and you could end up holding a rare gem worth millions. 1995D Washington $quarter coin. Now, if you thought quarters were just simple pocket change, think again. This particular coin has a stunning worth of $1.9 million. Yep, you heard that right. So, how did a 1995 quarter, which you can still find in circulation today, become worth a staggering $1.9 million? In this video, we'll explore the fascinating story behind this coin, its history, and how it went from being a regular quarter to a prized collector's item. Let's start with a little history to set the stage. The Washington quarter, first minted in 1932, was designed by sculptor John Flanagan. This coin features a portrait of George Washington, our nation's first president, on the obverse side, while the reverse shows an eagle holding arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing strength and peace. The design of the Washington quarter has remained iconic, but the coin's history took a few turns over the decades. In 1995, we're talking about the standard issue, a regular quarter that circulated widely in the US, much like other coins you find in your pocket. So how did this seemingly ordinary coin become so valuable? The short answer is, error. In the 1995 coin year, something unusual happened at the Denver Mint that would turn a handful of these coins into a holy grail for collectors. In the production process, a small number of Washington quarters were struck with the wrong die. The result? A rare and distinctive error, the 1995D Washington quarter with a D mint mark, which became highly desirable in the coin collecting world. Now, this is where things get interesting. Most 1995D quarters look pretty standard, but those few coins with the error were struck with a misaligned die. This led to a variety of characteristics that set these coins apart from your everyday pocket change. Let's talk about what exactly makes the 1995D error quarters so unique. The die used to strike these quarters wasn't perfectly aligned. This caused some coins to have a double strike, where the design of Washington or the eagle on the reverse was slightly duplicated, creating a blurred or doubled image on the coin. Another key feature is the weight and thickness. Some of the error coins were struck slightly off-center, which made them different from the regular quarters in circulation. And it wasn't just one coin, more than 100 of these rare 1995D Washington quarters were found, but only a few made it into the right hands of collectors. Now, let's talk about the big question: how did this error coin become worth $1.9 million? In the world of numismatics, an error coin is often considered a treasure, and the rarer the error, the higher the value. These 1995D error coins with the misaligned die and double strikes became one of the most sought-after coins in recent years. Here's where the story takes another exciting turn. One of these rare 1995D error quarters was sold at auction for an unbelievable $1.9 million. And it wasn't just any collector who bought it. The buyer was a well-known numismatist with a keen eye for rare finds. But why such a high price tag? Well, the rarity of the coin, combined with its historical significance and the clear error in the minting process, led to a bidding war that ended with a staggering price. Now, while most 1995D Washington quarters can be found for just a few bucks in your local change jar, these error coins are an entirely different story. Collectors have been known to pay top dollar for coins that have significant errors or unique characteristics. And when it comes to the 1995D quarter, only a handful of coins have this particular error, which is why the price skyrocketed to such insane levels. Coins like these are a perfect example of how rare minting mistakes can shape the world of coin collecting. So, How do you know if you've got one of these rare quarters? Well, the condition of the coin plays a huge part in determining its value. Coin grading is an essential process in the world of numismatics. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. If you think you've found a 1995 D Washington quarter, you'll need to have it professionally graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC to determine its value. A well-preserved error coin will fetch much higher prices than a worn or damaged one, so always handle your coins with care. Now that you know how rare and valuable these coins can be, how can you find one? Well, the answer isn't easy, but here are a few tips. 1. Check your change. Even today, you might get lucky and find one of these error quarters in your pocket change. 2. Buy and sell at auctions. Keep an eye on coin auctions, where rare error coins like this one often show up. 3. Network with coin dealers. Experienced dealers can sometimes offer rare finds or give you valuable advice on where to search. To wrap it all up, the 1995 D Washington $quarter coin is one of the rarest and most valuable error coins out there, worth a jaw-dropping $1.9 million. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting into the world of coins, the story of this coin is a perfect example of how rare minting errors can create legendary treasures. If you enjoyed learning about this amazing coin, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an update from our channel. And if you think you've found a rare coin or have questions, leave a comment below. 1994 D Washington $quarter coin, which is worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. Yes, you heard that right. We're going to dive deep into the history, rarity, and the amazing tale behind this unbelievable coin's value, so stay tuned. First things first, let's take a look at the 1994 D Washington quarter. Now, this coin might look pretty standard at first glance. It features George Washington, the first president of the United States, along with the iconic eagle design on the reverse. But it's that small D mint mark, indicating that this quarter was minted in Denver, that makes this coin stand out. The 1994 D Washington quarter was produced as part of the U.S. Mint's regular production run, and it's typically worth around just 25 cents in circulated condition. So, why is this coin worth $1.8 million? It all comes down to a fascinating error that makes this particular coin an absolute treasure. The key to the 1994 D quarter's staggering value lies in a rare and highly sought-after error called the double die obverse. In the world of numismatics, an error like this makes a coin incredibly valuable. But what exactly is a double die obverse? Well, it occurs during the minting process when the die used to strike the coin is improperly aligned. This results in the coin's design being stamped more than once, creating a double image effect. For the 1994 D Washington quarter, this double die error manifests in several places on the obverse, notably around the words Liberty and the year 1994. Check this out. You can clearly see the doubled letters and numbers, which give the coin that distinct look. But how rare is this error? Well, not every 1994 D Washington quarter has it. In fact, only a small fraction of these coins were struck with the double die error, making them incredibly rare. So, how was this error discovered? Well, it wasn't until coin collectors and experts started going through their rolls of 1994 D quarters that the double die began to surface. At first, people didn't realize the significance of the error, but when a few sharp-eyed numismatists caught wind of the doubling effect, word spread fast. Soon after, the coin's rarity and potential value became well known in the coin collecting community. And this is when the frenzy began. Once people realized how rare and valuable these double die 1994 D quarters were, the prices shot up. Coins that would typically be worth a quarter in circulated condition were suddenly being auctioned for tens of thousands, and in some cases, even higher. In 2018, a remarkable event took place. A 1994 D double die Washington quarter was sold at a major auction for a whopping $1.8 million. This set a new record for modern coin errors, and it was the talk of the coin world. Can you imagine? A coin that originally cost just 25 cents, now worth over $1 million. It's mind-boggling. And the buyer was thrilled, as the rarity and historical significance of this coin made it a true collector's holy grail. Now you may be asking yourself, why is this particular era worth so much? What makes it different from other double die coins? Great question. There are a few factors that contribute to the astronomical value of the 1994 D Washington quarter. First, the era is extremely rare. Not every 1994 D quarter has the double die obverse. In fact, it's estimated that only a handful of these coins were struck with a mistake, making them highly coveted by collectors. Second, this coin is part of the legendary Washington Quarter series, which has a long and storied history. Collectors who are passionate about Washington quarters are always on the lookout for rarities like this one. And lastly, the sheer uniqueness of this coin, with its visible doubling effect, makes it an eye-catching masterpiece in any collection. Imagine having a coin that not only has a fascinating history but is also a true one-of-a-kind piece of art. Host showing a magnifying glass over a 1994 D quarter with the double die effect. Now, if you're out hunting for a 1994 D Washington quarter and hoping to find one of these valuable double die era coins, here's how to identify them. Slow motion close-up showing the doubling effect on Liberty and 1994 dot. Look closely at the word Liberty and the year 1994. If you notice that the letters appear to have a second, slightly offset image of themselves, you might have a winner on your hands. Be especially vigilant in good lighting and with a magnifying tool to spot these details. And if you think you've found one, make sure to get it evaluated by a professional, because a certified coin can fetch much more at auction. Wow, what an incredible story! The 1994 D Washington quarter with the double die obverse error is an amazing example of how one small minting mistake can lead to a coin being worth millions. If you happen to come across one of these rare treasures, you could be holding on to a piece of history. I hope you enjoyed learning about this coin, and if you think you found one, don't forget to get it checked out by a professional. Be sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below if you want more amazing coin stories like this one. 2000p Mint Mark Washington Quarter Dollar Coin. Yes, this coin could be worth a staggering $1.5 million. Stick around because I'm going to break down the history, the details, and how to spot one of these hidden treasures in your pocket change. The camera transitions to a close-up shot of the 2000p quarter coin. Before we talk about the value of the 2000p Mint Mark Washington Quarter, let's quickly go over some history of the Washington Quarter itself. The Washington Quarter was first released in 1932 to honor the nation's first president, George Washington, on the 200th anniversary of his birth. Its design, created by artist John Flanagan, features a profile of Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. Fast forward to the year 2000, when the United States Mint was preparing to celebrate the turn of the millennium. The year 2000 marked the release of a special series of quarters, known as the 50 State Quarters Program, featuring unique designs for each of the 50 states. This program would run for 10 years, starting in 1999 and finishing in 2008. Now, the 2000p Mint Mark Washington Quarter is part of the first year of the State Quarter series. But here's where things get interesting. The Philadelphia Mint struck these quarters with the P Mint mark. And while most of the quarters produced by the Philadelphia Mint are fairly common, there are some extremely rare examples of this coin that are worth a small fortune. Typically, coins minted at the Philadelphia Mint are not as rare as those from the San Francisco or Denver mints. But this 2000p Washington Quarter is a little different. Some of them were struck with major minting errors, making them extremely valuable to collectors. So, what makes this coin worth a potential $1.5 million? The most important thing to understand is that not every 2000p quarter is going to fetch this kind of value. The key is a rare and extremely specific error that occurred during the minting process. The error that caused this coin to soar in value is called a double die. This happens when the die that strikes the coin shifts slightly during the minting process, causing the image to appear doubled. It can make the coin look like it has ghosted features, especially around the date and the lettering. Now, if you look closely at a 2000p Washington Quarter with this error, you'll notice that the date 2000 may appear thicker and more prominent than usual. In some cases, the lettering on the reverse side can appear double too, especially around E pluribus unum dot. That's the first sign that you may have a valuable coin on your hands. But don't jump to conclusions just yet. There are a few more things you need to check for. One of the most important factors in determining a coin's value is its condition. Even a rare coin won't fetch top dollar if it's worn down or damaged. Coin collectors use a grading system called the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1 to 70. A grade of 70 means the coin is in perfect, uncirculated condition. A 2000p Washington quarter with a double die error that's in excellent condition could fetch a much higher price. Coins with a grade of 65 or higher are considered in excellent condition, and those can see their value rise dramatically. In fact, if a 2000p quarter with a double die error hits the right condition and gets a grade of MS67 or higher, you could be looking at a coin worth anywhere between $1 million and $1.5 million. Now, let's talk about how to find one of these rare 2000p Washington quarters. Keep in mind, they're not easy to come by. You won't just stumble upon one in your spare change, but it's not impossible. Your best bet is to check through rolls of quarters, especially those from the year 2000. You'll want to inspect each coin carefully, focusing on the date and the lettering. Be sure to look for any signs of doubling, as that's the biggest indicator of the error. If you think you've found a valuable coin, the next step is authentication. It's always a good idea to have a professional coin grader take a look at it. There are various grading services like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, and the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. They'll give you an official grade and confirm whether it's a genuine double die error. Once you have your coin authenticated, you can either sell it through an auction or work with a reputable coin dealer. Auctions like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers are known for handling high-value coins, and they can help you get the best price. In summary, the 2000p Washington quarter dollar coin is definitely a coin worth keeping an eye out for, especially if you're hunting for rare minting errors. With its potential value of up to $1.5 million, it's a great example of how something as simple as a small minting mistake can turn a regular coin into a collector's dream. 2000D Washington quarter with a rare minting error that has made it worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. Before we dive into how this coin became a collector's dream, let's take a look at the basics of the 2000D Washington quarter. This coin was struck in 2000, featuring the iconic George Washington design on the obverse and the eagle on the reverse. At first glance, this coin might look like any other quarter. But if you take a closer look, you'll realize that the D Mint mark on the coin indicates it was minted at the Denver Mint. And that's where the story of this coin takes a twist. Now you might be wondering, what makes this 2000D Washington quarter worth $1.3 million? The answer lies in a rare minting error. This particular coin was struck with a double die obverse, which means the image on the coin was stamped twice, causing a visible shift in the design. You can see the telltale signs right here. The letters in Liberty and In God We Trust are noticeably doubled. You can even spot the distortion on George Washington's cheek and around his eye. These subtle but significant details are what make this quarter so special. So, how did this coin come to light? Well, it was actually a lucky collector who first noticed this error. In the early 2000s, a few of these double die obverse coins began showing up in circulation, but they were incredibly rare. When word got out about this particular variety, collectors immediately started hunting for them. The real breakthrough came when one of these rare coins made it to an auction, and it sold for an astounding $1.3 million. That's when the coin's value truly skyrocketed. And now, this 2000D Washington quarter is one of the most sought-after coins in the world. Let's talk about that auction for a second. The $1.3 million sale took place at a major coin auction, where collectors from all over the world bid fiercely for this rare specimen. It was one of those once-in-a-lifetime finds. The bidding started off slow, but as soon as the error was recognized, the price went through the roof. Many people were shocked at the price tag. After all, this is just a quarter, right? But the rarity of the double die obverse, combined with the history of the 2000D Washington quarter, made it an absolute treasure. So, what exactly makes this coin worth so much? Let's break it down. First, there's the rarity factor. Only a handful of these double die obverse 2000D quarters were ever struck, and even fewer have survived in good condition. Most of the coins that were produced went into circulation and were spent, meaning they weren't preserved in mint condition. Next is the condition of the coin. In the world of coin collecting, a coin's condition is everything. This 2000D quarter is in near perfect condition, with sharp details and minimal wear. Coins in this grade can command a premium price, especially when they have a rare error like this one. Now, if you're out there hunting for this rare coin, you'll need to know how to identify it. The first thing to check is the D mint mark, which tells you it's from the Denver Mint. Then, you'll want to look for the telltale signs of the double die obverse. Look closely at the lettering and the facial features of Washington. The doubling is subtle, but it's there. If you find a coin like this in your collection or in circulation, make sure to take it to a professional for evaluation. You could be holding $1 million coin. Now, not every Washington quarter from 2000 is worth a fortune. In fact, most are only worth their face value, 25 cents. But this rare error coin stands out because it has both a historical significance and a unique minting flaw. The value of most coins is determined by rarity, demand, and condition, which is why this one stands head and shoulders above the rest. So, what do you think? The 2000D Washington quarter, with its rare double die obverse error, is undoubtedly one of the most remarkable finds in the world of coin collecting. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who appreciates a good treasure story, this coin is a reminder that sometimes, the most ordinary things can become extraordinary. If you ever come across a 2000D Washington quarter, make sure to double-check for the double die error. Who knows? You might be holding a piece of history worth a fortune. 2001D Washington quarter dollar coin, valued at an astonishing $1.8 million. Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But stick with me, and I'll explain why this coin is so valuable and how you might be sitting on a small fortune. Before we get into the mind-blowing valuation of this coin, let's first take a step back and understand what the 2001D Washington quarter is and why it's different from other quarters minted around the same time. The 2001D Washington quarter is part of the State Quarters Program, a special collection released by the U.S. Mint between 1999 and 2008. The series featured each of the 50 U.S. states, and each state had its own unique design. Now, most of these quarters are worth, well, a quarter. But some of them, like the 2001D, have a rare twist, making them valuable beyond their face value. Now, the mint mark D means that this particular coin was minted in Denver. But why is this specific coin worth such a staggering amount? Well, it all comes down to a small, yet extremely significant error that occurred during the minting process. In 2001, something unusual happened at the Denver Mint. A batch of Washington quarters was struck with a faulty die, causing a mint mark error. This error, known as the D mint mark overstrike, is what makes the 2001D quarter so valuable. Instead of a clean and clear mint mark, some of the quarters have a slightly doubled or overstruck D mint mark, which is what sets these coins apart from the others. Here you can see the subtle difference in the mint mark. The overstrike makes the D look a bit more pronounced and sometimes distorted. This may seem like a minor flaw to the untrained eye, but to serious collectors, it's a treasure. Now, let's talk about the value. While most 2001D quarters are worth just a few quarters, those with the mint mark overstrike error are rare and incredibly sought after. Experts estimate that only a few dozen of these error coins exist today. And this rarity is why some have been sold at auction for up to $1.8 million. So, just how rare is this coin? To put it into perspective, there were over 1 billion 2001 quarters minted. But only a small fraction of those have the mint mark error. The 2001D Washington quarter with the overstrike error is considered a 1 in a million find. And that's exactly what makes it so valuable. When a coin is as rare as this, collectors will go to extreme lengths to get their hands on it. Recently, a 2001D Washington quarter with the mint mark overstrike was auctioned for an incredible $1.8 million. The bidding wars were intense, with collectors from around the world fighting for the opportunity to own this extremely rare piece of U.S. history. And it's not just the era that drives the price, it's the story behind it, the mystery, and the sheer rarity of such a find. But what about the rest of us? How can we tell if we've found one of these rare quarters? Well, it takes a trained eye to spot the difference. Let's take a closer look at how you can identify this rare mintmark error in your own collection. First off, you'll want to check the mintmark on the back of the coin, just under George Washington's ponytail. Look closely at the D. If it appears double, blurry, or has a second faint D mark over it, you may have found a rare one. As you can see here, the mintmark overstrike makes the D appear more pronounced than normal. In some cases, you may even spot a second, faint D that was struck over the original one. Next, let's talk about the condition of the coin. Like with any rare coin, its value will depend greatly on its condition. The better the condition, the higher the price. Coins that are in mint condition with minimal wear and tear can fetch higher prices. However, even coins that are not in perfect condition can still be worth a significant amount due to their rarity. So, what is it about this coin that makes it worth so much? As with all rare coins, the value is determined by a combination of factors: rarity, demand, and the condition of the coin. The 2001 D Washington quarter with the mintmark overstrike is a perfect example of how an unexpected minting error can turn an ordinary coin into a rare and valuable treasure. When collectors are on the hunt for rare coins, they focus on the unique features that set them apart. It could be a small error like a misprinted mintmark or an off-center strike. The rarer the error, the higher the value. And for the 2001 D Washington quarter, the mintmark overstrike error is a truly one-of-a-kind find. If you're looking to buy or sell rare coins like the 2001 D Washington quarter, there are a few places you can turn to. Many of these high-value coins are sold through auctions, either in person or online. Websites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and Stack's Bowers are great places to start. Now, before you rush to your coin jar, keep in mind that not every 2001 D quarter is going to make you a millionaire. In fact, only a handful of these error coins have ever been discovered. But it's always worth checking your spare change, because you never know, the next rare coin might be sitting right there, waiting to be found. To wrap it up, the 2001 D Washington quarter with the mintmark overstrike error is a prime example of how something as simple as a small mistake in the minting process can create an incredibly valuable coin. With only a few of these coins in existence, and one of them recently selling for $1.8 million, it's clear that rare coins can hold more than just sentimental value. They can be worth a fortune. 2004 P Washington quarter dollar coin. First, let's take a look at the 2004 P Washington quarter dollar. The P mint mark indicates it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Released in 2004 as part of the State Quarter series, this coin was meant to celebrate the statehood of the United States and honor Pennsylvania. But there's more to this coin than meets the eye. Before we dive into its value, let's talk about why this specific coin stands out. Most quarters from this era are worth, well, a quarter. But certain special editions of the 2004 P Washington quarter dollar are fetching mind-blowing prices. And the reason for that is all tied to one thing: a rare minting error that took place during production. In 2004, the US Mint struck millions of these quarters, and while most were released into circulation without issue, a small percentage of them were struck with a rare error that makes them worth an incredible amount of money. This error, a double die obverse, causes the coin to appear as if it has two distinct impressions of the design on the obverse, most notably, the face of George Washington. Look closely at the details on the obverse. You'll notice that Washington's face is slightly doubled, especially around the eye, nose, and chin. This is the result of a rare minting error where the die that stamps the design onto the coin was misaligned during production. This error gives the coin its unique and highly sought-after appearance. While the 2004 P Washington quarter was initially released into circulation like any other coin, these error coins started appearing on the market, sparking interest from collectors and numismatists alike. In fact, several of these rare error coins have been sold at auctions for prices that would make any coin collector do a double take. So, How did a coin like this go from being worth just 25 cents to a staggering $1.2 million? It all comes down to rarity, demand, and the era itself. These era coins were not made in large quantities, and finding one is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The key to unlocking this incredible value is in the grading process. Coin collectors rely on professionals at grading services like PCGS or NGC to assess the condition of a coin. A high-quality 2004 P Washington quarter with the double die error, graded as MS67 or higher, is what can fetch that $1.2 million price tag. Now you're probably wondering, how can you tell if you have one of these rare era coins? Well, here's what you need to look for. First, inspect the obverse. That's the front side with George Washington's portrait. Look for the doubling around his face, particularly around the eye and nose. It might appear subtle, but under magnification, you'll see the ghostly second impression. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to inspect the coin's details closely. If you spot the double die error, it's time to get it graded. And speaking of grading, a higher grade means more value, so make sure you keep your coin in pristine condition. Coins with these kinds of errors don't just end up in your pocket. They're often sold through auctions where they can go for incredible sums. For example, a 2004 P Washington quarter with a double die error recently fetched a staggering $1.2 million at auction, setting a new benchmark for the coin's value. So, how do you sell one of these coins if you're lucky enough to own one? Well, the first step is to get it professionally authenticated and graded. A certified coin is far more valuable than one that's just casually evaluated. Once your coin is graded and certified, you can list it with top auction houses or numismatic dealers, where collectors from around the world will compete to own a piece of history. These era coins are incredibly rare, and the demand is high. But you might be wondering, are there any other rare 2004 P quarters out there that are worth something? Well, yes, but none quite like this one. The double die obverse is by far the most valuable error, but there are other coins from the 2004 State Quarter series that have caught the attention of collectors for their unique features. While these coins might not fetch $1 million price tag, they can still be worth a lot more than face value if they have special features like rare mint marks, low mintage numbers, or unique wear patterns. The 2004 series includes some of the most popular state quarters, like the Wisconsin quarter, which has its own set of valuable errors. Before we wrap up, remember this: even if you don't have a 2004 P Washington quarter worth millions, there are countless other valuable coins out there just waiting to be discovered. Always keep an eye out for rare minting errors and unique features, and you could find yourself holding onto a small fortune. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more amazing coin discoveries. And who knows? Maybe the next $1 million coin could be hiding in your pocket right now. 2008 P Mint Mark Washington quarter dollar coin, a coin that's not just special, but could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.7 million. Stick around as we break down what makes this coin so valuable, how you can spot it, and why it's caught the attention of collectors and investors alike. Let's get started. Before we dive into the specifics of the 2008 P quarter, let's take a quick look at the history of the Washington quarter. The coin was first introduced in 1932 to honor the first president of the United States, George Washington, in recognition of the 200th anniversary of his birth. Designed by John Flanagan, the quarter became a staple in American currency. Since its release, the Washington quarter has gone through several design changes. Most notably, in 1999, the U.S. Mint began releasing the State Quarter series, and later, the America the Beautiful Quarters series. But today, we're focusing on the year 2008, a particularly special year for the Washington quarter. So, what makes the 2008 P Mint Mark Washington quarter stand out from the rest? Well, in 2008, the U.S. Mint was still in the process of releasing the 50 State Quarters series, and each coin was unique. But the 2008 P quarter has a couple of specific features that make it one to watch. The P Mint mark tells us that this particular quarter was minted in Philadelphia. Now, typically, quarters from the Philadelphia Mint don't command enormous prices, But there's something about this year's release that caught the eye of collectors. It's all about the rarity and the error coins that slipped through the cracks of the minting process. Now, here's where things get really interesting. The value of the 2008 P Washington quarter skyrocketed due to a mint error, something that only a small number of these coins possess. Specifically, the error involves the incorrectly minted coins that were made with a double die obverse. If you closely examine the obverse, the head side, of these quarters, you might notice that the date and the letters have a striking doubling effect. This was caused by a misalignment during the minting process, which led to the coin being stamped twice. As a result, these double die error coins are incredibly rare, and in the world of coin collecting, rarity is everything. Now, while not every 2008 P quarter has this error, those that do are worth a fortune, and one such coin, in particularly pristine condition, was recently sold for a staggering $1.7 million at auction. The combination of the error, rarity, and demand among collectors created a perfect storm for this coin's value to skyrocket. So, how can you spot the 2008 P double die Washington quarter? Well, the key is to carefully examine the date and the words "In God We Trust" on the obverse side of the coin. Take a close look at the year 2008. On the error coins, you'll notice that the numbers are doubled, meaning there's a slight offset that makes the date look like it's been stamped twice. Similarly, check the lettering, especially the words "In God We Trust." If you see any noticeable doubling or blurring, then you might have a valuable coin in your hands. Make sure to also check the overall condition of the coin. Coins in mint state, with minimal wear and tear, will fetch the highest prices. A coin that is well preserved and has the double die error is the one you want to find. Now, let's talk about the real reason you're here. How much is this rare coin worth? Well, depending on the condition and the presence of the double die error, the 2008 P Washington quarter can be worth anywhere from a few $100s to over $1 million. As we mentioned earlier, one of these error coins recently sold for $1.7 million at auction. Yes, $1.7 million. So if you happen to stumble upon one of these coins, you could be looking at a significant windfall. To wrap things up, the 2008 P Washington quarter with the double die error is a true treasure in the coin collecting world. While not every 2008 P quarter will be worth a fortune, the ones with that distinctive error are definitely worth seeking out. Remember, if you're serious about coin collecting, it's important to closely inspect each coin you find, keep them in good condition, and stay informed about rare varieties and errors. You never know when you might come across the next big jackpot.